Dear students, today the topic is testing. Here are its kinds: testing and evaluation, direct testing and vis-a-vis indirect testing, discrete, criteria, objective, and communicative testing. In its definition, a test or quiz is used to examine someone's knowledge of something to determine what he or she knows or he learned. Testing measures the level of skill or knowledge that has been reached. जो स्टूडेंट स्किल गेन करते हैं और नॉलेज एनहेंस करते हैं उसको मेजर करने के लिए टेस्ट किया जाता है. Evaluation is the process of making judgment based on criteria and evidence. एविडेंस के तौर पे और क्राइटेरिया के मुताबिक बेस बनाते हुए जजमेंट के प्रोसेस को एवेलुएट करने के तौर पे डिस्क्राइब किया जाता है. एक और चीज़ है इसमें तीसरी, टेस्टिंग और एवेलुएशन के साथ असेसमेंट. Assessment is the process of documenting knowledge, skill, attitudes and beliefs, usually in the measurable terms. The goal of assessment is to make improvements. इसका मतलब है कि हम बेहतरी की तरफ लेकर जाएं. As opposed to simply being judged. सिर्फ हमने जज ही नहीं करना बल्कि उसको प्रमोशन भी देनी है. In an educational context, assessment is the process of describing, collecting, recording, scoring, and interpreting information about all the information. अब ये है कि assessment क्यों अहम है. Hopefully by this point in our life, we have discovered that learning can be fun. आम चीज़ नहीं है learning, इसमें मज़ा भी है, enjoyment भी है. We have probably realized it that constant learning is in the classroom, car, kitchen या कहीं भी हो सकती है. उसके लिए formal और informal context दोनों ही important है. Assessments help us to build confidence. सारी बात है, assessment से हमारे अंदर confidence develop हो जाता है कि हमने ये वाला bridge भी cross कर लिया. Perhaps we have heard that the global work culture is changing. Unlike जिस तरह हमारे forefathers का होता था, उसके मुताबिक हमारा जो इस वक्त का latest modern scenario है, ये change हो रहा है. You will probably have a number of different jobs and careers during your lifetime in order to be successful. जाहिर बात है, कामयाब जिंदगी गुजारने के लिए हमें बहुत से experiences में से गुजरना पड़ता है. You will need to have confidence in your ability to learn and you will need to become a lifelong learner. Assessment plays a key role in developing your confidence in your ability to learn as well as in developing your lifelong learning skill. हम फ़र्क देखेंगे कि evaluation में और testing के दरमियान में क्या फ़र्क है. Although these terms are often used interchangeably, it is important to clarify the distinctions between evaluation and testing as they are technically different. टेक्निक के मुताबिक उसमें डिफरेंस है, देखते हैं. Testing of an individual student progress or achievement is an important component of evaluation. टेस्टिंग जो है किसी एक फर्द को चेक करना evaluation है. It is that part of an evaluation which includes the measurement and analysis of information about a student's learning. Evaluation surpasses the student's achievement to consider all aspects of teaching and learning and is used to look at how educational decisions are made. Purpose क्या है इसका? After the teacher has taught something, जैसे ही कभी कोई उस्ताद पढ़ाता है, it is natural for to want to know how much the students have learned. तो हमारी ये कोशिश होती है कि हम देखें कि बच्चों की कुछ पल्ले पड़ा भी है कि नहीं पड़ा. What level they at and what things need to be considered for the improvement of the students. Tests tell the teacher about the effectiveness of his teaching. अगर टेस्ट अच्छा है तो it means कि उस्ताद अच्छा है. The basic purpose of an evaluation is to make judgment about the quality or worth of an educational program, और हम evaluation में उस प्रोग्राम की जजमेंट लेते हैं कि आया इसको बच्चे समझ पाते हैं या नहीं, इसकी प्रोफिशिएंसी है या नहीं है. Second purpose. The second purpose of evaluation and testing is to give students the opportunity to show that they have learned rather than catching them out, or show what they have not learned. The third purpose of evaluation and testing is also to motivate the students and show them how well they have learned the subject matter. The last purpose of testing and evaluation is to give the teacher useful information about how to improve their teaching methods. That if one method is not completed for the student, then second may be applied. इसमें कुछ types हैं, जैसे the regular forms of testing provide information to guide and any modifications or improvements to the course. The most common tests are ये हैं. The placement test, also called the level test, is used to check language levels for admission into school, into college, into university. All four language skills are generally tested here. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing are judged. Diagnostic test is done by the class teacher to know where he should start to teach the students. This test tells the teacher about the current position of his students. The progress test is useful for a teacher to show areas of class improvement or weakness. Aptitude tests are designed to predict a student's probable future performance on a course. Finally, achievement tests are designed to assess the student's current knowledge and reference this forward to some future task or an external exam. Outcome है testing or evaluation के, we can say that efficient goal-oriented teacher testing plan should contain clearly understood the objectives as they are sufficient amount of feedback to make students aware of the strength and weakness of their performance. Effective evaluation and testing requires an understanding of the role of evaluation in planning, as delivering instructions and listening and testing call on the teacher to become agent of change in their classrooms, actively using the results of testing to modify and improve the learning environment. Definition of testing, again, its repetition and evaluation. Second definition, that effectiveness of an educational system to a program, to a course, to an instruction and a curriculum, according to Wesley 1972. इसी तरह same assessment है. The verb assess often collocates with skills, abilities, performance, aptitude, and the most important is competency. According to Lee, Grang, and Rede, 1998, assessment occurs when judgments are made about a learner's performance. This is the most important purpose. Educators assessment their students, educators, for a variety of purposes to evaluate learners' educational needs, diagnose students' academic readiness, to measure their progress in a course, to measure their skill acquisition. Suppose 1, type 1. There are different types of assessment. Formative assessment. Formative 1. It is process. Formative is 1. It is process oriented and is also referred to an assessment for learning. It is an ongoing process to monitor learning, the aim of which is to provide feedback to improve students' instruction method and improve students' learning. Type 2, summative assessment. It is product oriented and is often referred to as assessment of learning. It is used to measure students' learning progress and achievement at the end of a specific instructional period. And the third and last is alternative assessment. It is also referred to as authentic or performance assessment. It is an alternative to traditional assessment that relies only on standardized tests and exams. It requires students to do tasks such as presentations, case studies, portfolios, simulations, reports, etc. Instead of measuring what students know, alternative assessment focuses on what students can do with this knowledge. These are the types: proficiency test, achievement test, diagnostic test, placement test. In proficiency test, the content is based on specification of conditions to be able to do in the language in order to be considered proficiency for a specific purpose. Other proficiency tests are designed to show whether candidates have reached a certain standard with respect to certain specific abilities. Now, test for a purpose, test for more general purposes. Function: measure people's ability in a language to show whether candidates have reached a certain standard. Here, the general purpose is attained and it is about. Its purpose is successful individual students ratio and their objectiveness. The third is diagnostic test. Its purpose is to identify learners' strength and weakness. Here, the skills are listening, speaking, reading, writing, and grammar in diagnostic test. Diagnostic test advantages are: it is analysis by EG of a learner's proficiency performance in writing, speaking in terms of grammatical accuracy or linguistics appropriacy. Placement टेस्ट फोर्थ में है, use of assigned students to classes at different levels. No one placement test will work for every institution. The most successful ones are those constructed for particular situations. These are the types: direct, indirect testing, discrete, criteria, objective, vis-a-vis subjective, communicative, language testing. Direct, indirect testing. Perform precisely the skill which is measured. The task and text should be authenticated as possible. This is direct, easier to measure. But indirect, measure the ability underlying the skill. Indirectly हमने जो फोकस किया होता है उसको चेक करते हैं, जबकि इसमें डायरेक्ट में और इनडायरेक्ट में अट्रैक्शन ये हैं. डायरेक्ट टेस्ट जो है ये क्रिएट द कंडीशंस eliciting the behavior that the judgment is based on. The assessment and interpretations of direct test performance is quite straightforward. It is helpful backwash effect. जबकि indirect tests are representative sample of a finite number of abilities underlying a potentially indefinite large number of manifestations. Here are the problems. जो डायरेक्ट टेस्ट है ये स्मॉल सैंपल होते हैं, जबकि जो इनडायरेक्ट हैं ये वीक रिलेशनशिप में होते हैं. इसमें परफॉर्मेंस ऑन टेस्ट एंड परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द स्किल जो है ये प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करती है. नंबर 2, discrete point testing. Discrete point testing refers to the testing of one element at a time, item by them, one thing. इंटरेक्टिव टेस्टिंग, इसमें इंटाग्रेटिव टेस्टिंग होती है. राइटिंग, कंपोजिशन, टेकिंग अ डिक्टेशन और कंप्लीटिंग अ क्लोज पैसेज होता है. जबकि क्राइटेरिया referenced testing में the purpose of criteria referenced testing is to classify people according to whether or not they are able to perform some task or set of tasks satisfactorily. Norms reference testing relates to one candidate performance to that of other candidate. अब हमारे पास ऑब्जेक्टिव और सब्जेक्टिव है. सब्जेक्टिव मेथड्स में हम देखेंगे कि जजमेंट रिक्वायर्ड ऐसे टेस्ट डिफरेंट डिग्रीज ऑफ सब्जेक्टिविटी, जबकि ऑब्जेक्टिव टेस्ट नो जजमेंट रिक्वायर्ड, हमने सिर्फ मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस देने हैं. कम्युनिकेटिव लैंग्वेज टेस्टिंग जो है इन्फ्लुएंस करती है लैंग्वेज टेस्टिंग and teaching. Language doesn't only relate to grammar, it also involves specific role of use, features of communicative context. Now here is two features. Feature 1, assessment. Learners are engaged in an act of communication, so receptive, productive, both are judged. Number 2, assessment. Communicative language testing. Focus on the social roles in the real world things. Offer a means of specifying the demands of such roles in detail. Now, there is also job analysis involved here. The basis for the test design, careful study of the communicative roles and tasks. Now, these are the references for the ready help. Thank you for your attention and listening. Best of luck. Allah Hafiz.